Hello, powerful one. Welcome to this edition of Inner Growth. It says what Elimi Hey. You have heard it said several times, never say die, never give up. These are two expressions that denote motivation, that denote power, commitment to success. But it's a beautiful expression, not open to faulting, but you see, these two expressions are coming from an outer, exoteric point of view, because the mentality behind these two expressions are hinged on the understanding, on the belief that it is what you say and what you do that define you. But you and I now know better that it is not necessarily what we say. It is not necessarily what we do. If we do not intend to do, if we do not intend to say, we end up saying all the same and we end up doing all the same and regretting later and saying, oh, I actually didn't mean that. That wasn't my intention. Okay, then what is the root of the intention? This is why we are looking at the topic today. Never think die. Never feel die. Don't feel bad. Don't think bad. That's what we are talking about today. When we come back from the break, we shall go to its fullest details possible. I am Osaizwa Anthony Elimihe. You know me, I am in the perpetual game of helping you grow from inside out. That is the dream. Yes, the law is not as a human being speaketh, so they are. No, it's not as a human being doeth, so they are. There is an intelligence that is responsible for the doing and the saying of the human being. And that intelligence is thinking. Even beyond the thinking, there is an intelligence that is responsible for that thinking, the feeling. And then behind the feeling, there is the thoughts. Now, why am I separating thoughts from thinking? Thinking is the process of using our thoughts as building blocks to create a reality. That's what thinking is. Each time you are thinking, you are creating. There are two ways to create. You either create by dwelling on a thought, which is feeling, allowing feeling to take you on a roller coaster ride, which means you are creating without actually intelligently facing what you are creating. You just allow the motion of life, the motion of your situation to just move you along. When you create in that state, what you are doing is that you are either perpetuating an existing reality, which you may not like, which you may like, good, or you are instituting a new reality, which is represented by the new thoughts. Which means at the time you are dwelling on that thought is new to your life, and you are dwelling on it and allowing it to take you on a ride. It's usually not very easy to have it that way, but when it has been loaded into one's subconsciousness, it rolls and runs by itself. So, the intelligence that is behind our thinking, our speaking, our doing is belief. It doesn't matter what you intellectually, mentally want to do. Your consciousness may have an idea of how best to run your life, but what eventually happens is that there is an instituted law different from your conscious intention that runs the show. So what this means is that all our deeds, all our saying are generated by a secret, unknown, hardly perceptible underground intelligence within us. We are not aware of this intelligence. It is not even a smart intelligence. It is something that is created by the interaction between our mind and our environment. They create these things for us. It's a creative machine that is functioning when we are off the circuit, when we are not working, when we are not thinking. A lot of the times we don't think, really. We dwell in thought. Dwelling in thought means that we are surrendering our creative capacities, our creative functions to that machine, underground power that is working. You see, what we are trying to say is that that dynamo, that immense power that is within our systems can be controlled by being reformatted. Reformat it and load it with things that are congruent with your dreams. That is what we are talking about. So your doing and your sayings, they don't count as long as that machine is not controlled. If you control that machine, you will subconsciously, without thinking, say the right things and do the right things. But when you have not worked on that machine and you are focusing on changing your life by external means, by changing the way you talk, by changing the way you walk, you are wasting your time. Because that machine, that underground power, will keep generating all your thoughts, all your actions to you. But when you are in a state of focus, that machine will be turned off. But when you go out of focus, that machine is running. What we are saying is that if you cannot keep being in focus every hour of the day to control your thinking and your feelings, what you can do is that when you wake up in the morning, set a tone. It's like setting them. I remember my uncle those days buying these expensive foreign watches, and then you have to regulate it every morning. So the human mind is still like that. You have to regulate the mind. If you wake up in the morning and you have a feeling that is not congruent to the life you want, you are not happy. Therefore, regulate the mind. Load it with the things that you want by using the expressions that connect with that life. That is what we talk about affirmation. That is why we also talk about meditation. We put you there. So exoteric thinking is that we can change our lives by doing. Most people end up enslaving themselves to different groups, different things, just because they want to belong. But you see, we are saying to you that you can become your dream person by setting your systems right. So, never think die is the expression that I want us to focus on henceforth. Go beyond the saying. The saying is nothing. It's a lot. It's just 5% of the entire equation. The being, that is the real thing, which is 95% of the equation. When you allow a thought to run your life, you are in a state of being. And that being is not actually the being that is natural to you. It is a being that is natural to you at that time. Not your all-time nature that is timeless, but this is a time-bound nature, which is a consequence of ongoing events in one's life. And all you have to do is to doctor it. What we are begging us to do on a daily basis is to set a law for our day. Life is ruled in this lower world by laws. And human beings, you and I, are lawmakers. We are the authentic lawmakers of our existence. We are to make the laws. If we don't make the laws that should govern our lives, life will make the laws for us. Because at the time of your birth, your karmic structure, your karmic regime has created a law for you. But we are saying that that law is not good enough. It is the law that takes control from you. All right? It is 75% of your life that is locked in that karmic law. But you see, there is still 25% space for you to make new laws. Now, if you make a law within your free will capacity of 25%, do you not think that it is wise for you to make a law that overthrows the 75% karmic blueprint in your life? You can cancel your karma. Now, listen, it is easy for me to say it now. It is a difficult thing because I know what it means to wake up in the morning and experience a feeling, a very overpowering feeling that is contrary to the way I want to feel. And I know that if I allow that feeling to keep running, my life is going to go along that course. That feeling is a feeling that is emphasizing, that is foregrounding my life as it has been since. But because I am not happy with my life as it has been since, I know that that feeling is alien to my goal. Therefore, I will not allow that feeling. That is where the struggle comes. Because the feeling is so overpowering, my entire structure, my entire system is in accordance with that feeling. They like that feeling because they are used to that feeling. They see it as a congruent feeling. But I, from a higher perspective, pedestal of thinking of my being, I am saying no to that feeling. Then a conflict is born within my system. And what do? It is the part that I support that wins. When I talk about support, it's not just intellectual support, it is active support. This is where consistency in rebuttal of that which you do not want comes into play. And that not wanting it, that rebuttal is not about saying, I reject you. No, it's about ignoring the feeling and going for what you want. I keep saying that. Ignore the feeling that is rocking at your base and saying, I know better. It's like a man waking up in the morning and sees that his family is hungry and there is no food in the house. Now, the man does not sit down and look at them and say, I don't want you to be hungry. I want you to have food. My intention for you is to have food. What does the man do? He gets up, enters the bathroom if he can do that, have his bath, dress up, and leaves the house. He's going for a solution to the need at home. In the same way, when you realize that a feeling has woken up in your system and you do not accept that feeling because the feeling is going to end up keeping your life the way it has always been, all you do is rise against the mentality that says that feeling is ideal by rejecting the mentality. And rejection is not antagonizing. Rejection is going for the opposite. I feel very unhappy right now. And it is an old feeling I've always had. I've always had this feeling with me. Therefore, this is the feeling that is responsible for my unhappy life. Therefore, I change it. And then you have to resort to affirmation of what you want your life to be. Affirm that consistently until you have an emotion that is so powerful and supports your state. And then keep that feeling for at least 20 minutes. Some say 17 minutes. Keep it. Keep that feeling of euphoria of your new life and let it run. And then be grateful for it. Anytime that negative feeling comes up again, remember your rebuttal and go back to it with gratitude and tell life that this is who you are. You are better than that feeling. Emphasize who you are all the time. It's about making the law that governs your life. It is now therefore not about never say die. No, never feel die. That's the law. Never feel die. Never think die. That is the new law. Live with that and you will be successful. You will be fulfilled more than you can ever imagine. Thank you.